Happy Easter! Welcome to Bloodyflixx. I'm your host Pete.
And I'm Kyle, and we talk about all things bloody.
We're laughing today because we're going to review for Easter a movie that's Easter based or Easter related. And what's it called?
Easter Bunny Massacre.
And this is the look of it. Alright, that's the bunny with the chainsaw. So I saw this at Walmart. It's from 2021, by the way. I saw this movie at Walmart. Saw the bunny with the giant chainsaw, and I'm like, what better movie to review for $7.50 than a bunny with a killer chainsaw? Unfortunately, the cover is about the best thing in the movie. When I came to work and handed the movie, I said, this rates lower than another movie that we rank movies against, and you did not believe me until you saw it, and...
I'm sorry, but when I have to look at my phone more than this movie, it's like, this movie's bad.
And we both appreciate the fact that, you know, it's an independent movie. People try to make movies. You know they're not going to be the best quality because they don't have the money, obviously. But there are a few things that you need to do in a movie.
Well, and also, this is an original story. It's not like a remake or something of an existing property. So, I give them credit for that. It's just, they could have came up with a little better idea than what we got. So.
Yeah, and so we do appreciate independent films and stuff because we're actually going to be shooting our movie this summer. But the thing is, it's a good storyline. The cover's great. But when the killer bunny on the front of the cover has nothing to do with the bunny killer, doesn't even look the same, that's where I kind of question it. Kind of false advertising.
So, basically, this is the premise of this movie, and I'll just tell you this. Think of it as I Know What You Did Last Summer, but with a person in a bunny costume. And I wouldn't even call it a bunny costume. It literally is a person that looks like Sackhead Jason with a shitty rabbit mask on.
I'm going to show you this because I don't know if I can pull pictures off the internet. That is the bunny, the killer bunny. So, yeah, so somehow on Easter morning, or Easter day, a group of, supposed to be young, teens, but they're not teens, they're like adults. They're like 20s, early 30s, maybe.
20s.
Yeah, maybe late 20s, maybe early 30s.
Yeah.
You got the gym bro. You got the pretty snotty girl, the blonde, like, oh my god. And then you got the quiet girl that's all quiet. And you just got the random people. And for some reason they're in the woods on Easter. They're not hunting for eggs. They're not, doing anything Easter related. Now, again, this is Easter Bunny Massacre. They're popping pills and getting drunk on Easter. So I've dyed eggs before. Opened Easter baskets. With my family. Yeah. Maybe bit off the head of a couple chocolate bunnies. Did you pop pills?
Not on Easter, but...
Not on Easter. Well, I never popped pills at all. But
but still.
I never got drunk in Easter. I don't know. Maybe St. Patrick's Day, but not Easter.
Yeah.
But so they're getting drunk and popping pills, and someone mysteriously, a girl, the preppy girl, it's all snotty, just mysteriously dies. And then they decide that they don't know who did it. One of them had to kill this, and they see a bunny head. Is it the bunny head? The
crappy bunny
head is laying there all covered in blood. And there was one killer, one death, but everybody in the campsite has blood on them. Just covered in blood.
Yeah,
one guy was even sleeping in a tent.
Yeah, they all wake up and they're covered in blood. Like, what happened? Oh, there's a dead body.
So what do you do if one of you is the killer, but you can't decide who the killer is? What would you do?
Let's call the cops. But no, let's just go bury our friend somewhere and just call it good.
I think they buried her, wrapped her up, buried her in the stream or something.
Yeah.
Buried her with some rocks or something.
And then when they buried her, they actually made they put a cross over it, so like that's not gonna give it away that there's somebody buried there.
The grave marker?
Yeah, grave marker.
So fast forward to a year later. So far, my biggest complaint at this point is that when they shot the movie, it sounded like they had just the mic on the camcorder. They didn't have any external mics around the campsite because it was very hard to hear. I had to turn my TV up. You use captions.
Yeah, I use captions.
So I think subconsciously you can hear because you're reading at the same time. Had you not had the captions on, it would have been even twice harder to hear because I had my TV cranked. And there's a redhead in there who's one of the main characters, and she is really hard to hear.
And she's so soft-spoken.
So they only used one microphone, and wherever they placed the camera, that was it. And they do what we would do, basic shoot me talking to you, then shoot you, put together. Okay, understandable.
Well, and it also seemed like when they were talking, some people were talking louder because of the microphone issue.
Well, yeah, because they're closer to the camcorder or whatever they were using. So that was a big issue off the bat. So I really was struggling really to hear the movie. And the dialogue was basic. People they wrote a simple story. I mean, the premise is cool. Someone died. They got to figure who the killer is. A year later, they all meet. Killer comes back on Easter. Great. Well, fast forward a year later, and they get random messages to show up at this house. So they filmed in the woods and in a house. And no one can figure out who sent these notes.
No.
Because randomly there's a recording of actually the girl that died's voice. So they think she come back from the dead. And so far there's no killer bunny anywhere in sight.
Yeah, this.
So we're like an hour in. I think,
we're like an hour in, and finally the bunny shows up in an hour and 25-minute movie.
It's bad. So there's actually one scene where this guy, the guy that was in the beginning, is the brother of the redhead that's in the movie. I don't remember her name. Don't care to.
About the only one in the movie that I can remember her name is the girl that gets killed, and I don't even know why. But everyone else, I.
You mean the one that loses her accent?
Yeah, loses her accent.
Yeah, they're in the woods and she has a British accent, and then the next scene she has no accent at all. It's just, it's pretty bad. So, so she walks in on her brother. So obviously, he's going to be the killer because he's the only person not there and he's creepy. And he has the bunny head in the room. And where did you find that? Or what's that? He's like, I just found it. Okay, there's a killer bunny and you have the head in your room. How obvious is that? It was like pointless. Because at the end you find out they're together anyway, so it's just weird. It's a weird scene. But what do you think about kills? You're about kills. What do you think about kills? I do not mean to laugh so bad, but
so the very first kill is this guy. He's outside on the porch, and you see the bunny up top on the porch above him, and he looks up and he's like, "Who are you?" And I swear to God, this looked like the guy in the bunny suit has a pan and he starts dumping stuff on the guy. And it literally, to me, looked like he was dumping a pan full of shit on him. And he's like, oh, stop! And he's like,
chocolate.
And it was supposed to be chocolate. When the hell did the killer have time to heat up a bucket of chocolate to dump on the guy?
Because the funniest thing about this movie is the only scene in the house is they're around a dining room table talking, trying to figure out why they're there and all that stuff. Near the kitchen, and I believe at one point they're in the kitchen in the beginning. So in the kitchen there's a back door. No one's cooking anything, but magically this rabbit has a big vat of chocolate. I mean, a big pot of chocolate, and he's like,
like opening his mouth like he's gonna take some, and it's like, and he's seen him up there.
Say take some?
Yeah, take some.
I bet he was.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, you could have just kind of sidestepped out of the way and not took a load of chocolate to the face, but hey, whatever.
So at least it was original.
Yeah.
Because then he gets killed after that. But
yeah, and then when the bunny comes down and it's like stabbing him, you couldn't even tell if the bunny even had a knife in his hand. It just looked like he was making a fist and stabbing motions from what I've seen when I was paying attention. But
yeah, they could have. They could have had a retractable knife, like a show knife or something you could buy from Amazon. I'm sure pretty cheap.
Yeah, the kills in this, I know you probably had a real cheap budget, but come on, I think I could come up with creative kills in my head better than this. But
yeah, the kills were bad because obviously there's two bunnies. Because when the guy on the balcony gets killed, he runs down the steps and then runs to the next level, I believe. And then there's another bunny going up the steps, so they couldn't move that fast. So at that point, I'm like, okay, there's two bunnies, obviously.
Okay, so here, I'll put it this way. I thought the kills in Scream movies were bad. This is worse. Let's just put it that way.
And he hates Scream movies.
Yeah.
So there's a scene where they're all trying to discuss who did what. They're at the dining room table, and out of nowhere, you hear a shot, and the killer bunny, is holding a hammer in his left, or one of his hands, and a gun in the other. Shoots one of the girls in the eyeball with the gun. As she's laying there, you see like real watery blood around her eye, and her eye's still there. her eyes are wide open, her eyeball's still there, but that's where she got shot.
See, I didn't even realize he shot her in the eye. I thought he just shot her in the head because, like I said, after a certain point, I just quit paying attention.
Well, I assumed the eye because there's no other hole in her head and there's no blood anywhere around her eye. So I assumed it was the eye because that's the only part the blood was around her eye. So maybe she got shot in the forehead, but there was no blood. So I assumed the eye, but her eye was still there, so I don't get it. Then, as the guy who has a revolver, so he has at least 5 shots left. 5. Okay, there's like at least 6 people at this point. Okay, they could have bum rushed him. Okay, they could have ran out the door that was pretty much right there next to him in the next room. I mean, what did they decide to do?
Let's just go run and hide in bedrooms.
Exactly. So they're right there. So they didn't take. And what the worst part is, as they're running away, when he shoots the first girl, he decides not to shoot anybody else. So it's open season. He could have took out 5 more.
Well, maybe the budget they couldn't afford 4 more bullets. So I don't know. 5 more bullets.
Or maybe only 1 bullet. I don't know. But he didn't even throw the gun. So instead of using the gun, he uses the hammer. Now, every time you see this hammer in every other scene, the hammer is clean. Like you just went to Home Depot, bought the hammer, and have to return it so they can't get like blood on it because it's pristine clean. It's insane how clean this hammer is, and still no chainsaw.
Yeah,
there's still no chainsaw. So he with the hammer once. He likes to hit stuff with the hammer as it goes on the table. So you have the chocolate stabbing. You have someone getting shot where we don't know. There's a baseball bat.
But that was a cutaway. You didn't even see him hit nobody with it.
Yeah, so other than that, I can't remember any other directly kills. You see people die, but you see them dead.
And then the actual killer gets supposedly impaled on a tree. That one at the end.
So you get down to one survivor. You find out that it's the brother and the redhead. They're in cahoots, which is really weird because the redhead knows they're in cahoots. But then she's shocked that the brother had to take a cassette tape of the girl who died a year before. And he, it was easy to get her recordings and morph them into sayings and stuff to use her voice. And she was shocked, yet they're cahoots together. Like she was shocked that he had the rabbit head, which was really crazy. So one survivor, and he goes out in the woods, and, they got both characters dressed like bunnies. And the best part of the movie, besides the cover, is they go out, there's a tree between them, and they're standing beside a tree, and you're looking from the back, and you see him do this head tilt, like Michael Myers, Jason type thing, and then they go after the survivor, and end up getting their ass kicked, so.
Yeah, the 2 killers don't even attack the guy at the same time. Like, the guy beats the crap out of the brother real quick, and the girl's just kind of standing there like, okay, my turn,
And then she gets not what, the tree? She gets put into a tree or something?
No, the brother gets impaled on the tree.
Yeah, she just disappears.
And then the girl, she just gets like knocked out.
Yeah, and then she just disappears. And then the next scene she's in the house again, in the little room they were sitting in, with all the dead people propped up with blood on them. That was it.
Oh, and then the survivor dude puts on the bunny mask, and that's how it ends.
Oh, please, yes, for part 2, because we gotta have a part 2. If they do, please use microphones so we can hear the damn thing, because it was really hard to hear. I mean, I was like, what? I mean, I know I'm getting older, but wow, it was a really hard movie to hear. Acting? Some of the girls were okay. The redhead wasn't bad if you could hear her. The bro dude was, I really didn't care for him too much. He's kind of like, yeah, there's a killer. But you got your friends doing it. I don't know. That's the impression I got. I was tuning out after that. It was really hard to stay focused. What are you going to say?
I'm just lost for words with this movie, to be honest.
You didn't think there could be a worse movie than our movie we put all movies against, which we cannot mention.
I will say this. The other movie, the one that we're not going to talk about, it's stupid, but there is parts in it that's entertaining.
Yes.
This movie is just straight up boring.
The dialogue, the movie, the
premises,
just the kills. It wasn't like there was cool kills and the dialogue sucked, because I expected it for $7.50 Walmart to be a bunny with a chainsaw, at least have good kills, maybe a little funny, maybe a little nudity. So no nudity, just basic people talking, blah. No good kills. I mean, there's really nothing to the movie except for, I don't know, the chocolate scene maybe. Maybe like it wasn't funny like, that's funny. It was like haha, that's stupid.
I'm like, you got a person dressed up as a Easter bunny, and it's supposed to be Easter. You would have thought the kills would have kind of been around themed with Easter.
I'd rather see someone get killed with a dyed hard-boiled Easter egg
Or, yeah, or
than some of the kills that they did.
Yeah.
Like stuff, hard-boiled eggs in his mouth. Maybe pour some dye in his eyes or something. I don't know. Make it Easter related. I don't know.
Or dunk their face in a pan of boiling hot water with boiling eggs in it, or something. You know.
There you go.
So yeah.
Make it little Easter. I mean, the only thing that was Easter related was they went to the dollar store and, or whatever in their country, and they got some Easter banners. They had it's a Happy Easter. They had a few things hanging on the wall. That was about as far as they got as far as Easter related.
Yeah.
Because the bunny looked like it was 1940 bunny suit from the Goodwill that was stuffed in the back, and they forgot about it. Found it, brought it out because it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I see better costumes on the Strip of Las Vegas than that bunny outfit.
So
That's saying a lot.
So if you want to watch this movie, don't go to Walmart and waste your money. Just go watch it on Tubi. It's free right now.
And again, it's called Easter Bunny Massacre.
But there is no massacre.
And that bunny was not what you're going to get. You're going to get a different bunny. But hey, you know what? I do appreciate the way the good storyline, the premise of the movie. Well, oops. Was actually pretty decent. Other than that, yeah, they could have. It went downhill from there quick.
So, what do you give this movie?
I would have to give it, man, I don't even know. Probably half a. I'm gonna give it, man. Can we do half blood drops? Have we done half blood drops before, right?
Yeah, we can do whatever.
You know what?
we
I
want.
would give it 1 blood drop out of 5 because of the effort of trying to make the movie.
Me, like I said, I appreciate that people making independent films, and the premise was a good idea.
Yeah.
It was just poorly executed, and I myself would have to give it 1 blood drop out of 5.
So, if you're not doing anything today on Easter and you want to watch a horror movie,
Watch something else.
pretty much, yes. So, until next time.
Stay bloody.